letting go of Paris. You know I held on too much.
Hello guys, and welcome to this our third episode of Smite Theory. And yeah, as you can see already, this one is gonna be about what abilities you're gonna be wanting to level on all the different support guards. So this might be a bit of a long episode, so if you're looking for one of the guards, I will try and make the timestamps thingy, so you can like boom, click on the guard you want. So yeah, let's just get into it. On Ares at level 1, you have like Searing Flesh or Shackles you can really go for. Like two scenarios right now. The one scenario is you wanna fight in lane and your ADC is really good at pushing. Then you wanna go for your Shackles and then you wanna try and chain the enemy in the lane. The other scenario is that you have an ADC with weak push and you don't really wanna fight, then you wanna get your free for your clear. If you're not fighting at all, because maybe you're like watching out for rotation or something, just level your free to start with, because it knocks back the minions and it's actually really strong for clear, since the minions can't shoot while they're being knocked back by the flames. So, let's say in this scenario you're gonna start with this 3, then at level 2 you're gonna get either the 1 or the 3. Of course you wanna level the 1 on Ares, it just does the more damage. Definitely wanna go ahead and level that. Then at the, I think always at level 4 you kinda wanna level both defenses. It's like 20 with the prot and 10 CCR. It's on for 8 seconds. Like, this is an insane ability. This might be the most underrated ability in the game. So yeah, of course get the ult at level 5. Then we keep leveling up Shackles. Then we're actually gonna. I think this is something that a lot of Ares players, they're like, oh, let's max the 3, let's get way more damage because I want to be able to one-shot someone. Well, Ares 2 is insane. Every time you level it up, you gain 5 CCR and you gain 5 seconds. That is a bit annoying. So eventually, like, this is gonna be way better than Searing Flesh, which is 5 damage and then the health tick. So it's like only really good on Searing Flesh when you get to level 3 and level 5. So I like maxing both the defenses, so strong. Of course we're not gonna level ultimate. It does do damage, but the point is like that's 75 damage. It's kinda irrelevant, because mainly you're not gonna use no escape for kills. You're gonna be doing way more damage with either your 1 or your 3 over like 90 seconds or whatever than you're gonna be doing with your no escape. And mainly you don't kill someone with it, you pull them in while they're aegis or they beat or they use a CC immune ult or something, and the damage is kinda irrelevant, I say. So I like to level up Shackles, then finish off bolts of defense, then going Searing Flesh, and then finally leveling my ult. So this is one way, or the way I go about it. This is how I'd do the Ares leveling. Let's go to the next Alright, here we're gonna go with Athena, yeah. So on Athena, there's again 2 scenarios. If you're starting in a jungle camp, you probably want to start with your shield wall. If you're fighting, you want to start with Preemptive Strike. It's the dash. It slows the enemy for 25%. It's good damage. You get one of your passive reach, goes through, plus it blocks a basic attack. So this dash does so much. So I really like. Sorry about that. I really like having it leveled at level 1. Even if you want to clear the wave as well, I just think it's good to have it, because the clear is almost as good as shield wall. If you dash through the wave and get your not confound, the passive, whatever it's called, reach throughout the whole wave, it's pretty much like the same clear. It isn't really, but it's close. Shield wall is good if you know, like, you just want to go and clear jungle camp after, but usually I start with my Preemptive Strike, then I go shield wall. Now here you can either go shield wall and confound. If you just want to clear jungle camps, you go shield wall. If you kind of want to fight a bit, or like make sure they can't kill your ADC, let's say they have like a Bacchus burb or Ares chaining, or what could be like Terra trying to stun or something, like dash, you can like interrupt these abilities with your confound, then you get that. But let's say you want to clear, you get the shield wall, then you get the confound. Of course get the Defender of Olympus. I do want to mention as well, I see a lot of people maxing the taunt on Terra. I don't think it's good. The 3 has insane base damage. Like, look at it, it scales 35 and then 70 on the big swing. That's 105 damage per level. Why would you ever want to level that over like a 0.25 stun? There's no way that your team is going to be able to deal more than 105 damage on a 1.2 on like a 0.25 increased taunt. The damage is secure on the first hit, and mainly you want to use this for clearing jungle camps and shit. Like, if you can hit both in a guard, that's great. But the point is that if the enemy gets hit by a taunt, it's mainly because you want to poke or you want to kill. And if you want to kill, they're most likely gonna beat, or you're most likely gonna be able to kill them with a level 1 taunt regardless. So I just don't think there's any point putting points into the taunt while you have your shield wall. You can mix it up a bit. So let's say you'd get like 1 more point in Confound now and then max shield wall to like 3 points, but I just like going shield walled, Confound, shield walled, Confound, and then Preemptive Strike all the way, and Defender of Olympus now. Athena does do a lot of damage, 100 damage, and decreased cooldown is really good, but I think Athena's dash is also really important. You gain 1 second less cooldown, you gain 1 second more slow duration of 0.25, you gain more damage. It's like, it's just so important for Athena to have her dash on a low cooldown, because if you dash in and taunt, you're kinda gonna be able to dash out really fast. Again, I don't think there's too many scenarios where you're gonna be missing out on this 20-second cooldown, which is probably gonna be even less, because you have a CDR item, and then it's like even less the cooldown that you gain from it. It's also pretty rough to like get hit by an Athena ult, and if you do, it's probably not gonna be damage that matters, and either way, you're only going to be sitting on maximum 550 damage, because usually supports are not going to be hitting level 17 for like at least the first 30 minutes of the game, pretty much. Maybe that's kind of wrong, but this is how I like leveling Athena at least. So moving on, we have Bacchus. On Bacchus you want to start with the belly flop. Don't go for Belch, it's bad. Don't go for Chuck, it's bad as well. The belly flop is good for fighting. The belly flop is the best clear. It's the best clear because usually it avoids them clearing, because they're gonna get hit by the belly flop as well. And it's bells if the guard just gets interrupted. It's useless. You have no kill potential. It does nothing. And then you wanna go bells. Then usually you wanna go Chuck. You could go belly flop, but then again. Now there are scenarios where you want to max your 3 on Bacchus if the enemies can't really interrupt it. You want to level that before your 2. But mainly the belly flop is only like slightly less damage. I guess it's actually like 10 less damage or something. I can't do the math in my head right now. 20. It's actually 20 less damage, but you just get interrupted a lot during the belch. The argument against belly flop is that if you would jump in, you don't really want to level your escape. But on an initiator like Bacchus, I think it's good, and I mainly go for my belly flop because a lot of the guards in the meta right now, like Terra, Fafnir, Amaterasu, pretty much every guard has like some way to get rid of the belch, so like the damage doesn't go off and shit. So I just like getting the burst from the belly flop. Intoxicate, then max out belly flop. Here you can either skip or you could put 1 point into belch of guards. I think you just put a point into belch of guards. No reason to really hold on to that. Then Intoxicate, again probably one of the strongest ultimating in the game. Magical power buff, more damage, just level that. As we get the wonderful burp here. Belch of Guards. Oh whoa, that was one too much. This is gonna be Intoxicate, then Belch of Guards, and then level the Chuck. Like that. I think that's correct. Now it's a bit rough with Chuck because it costs so goddamn much mana. So like, I think sometimes there even is an argument that you shouldn't even level Chuck at all at like level 18 or 19 because it's kind of irrelevant. You gain 5 more pots, but it's like 140 mana for one Chuck. That's really rough. I guess the thought process behind this, by the time you have Chuck maxed out, you're gonna have like Fire Giant buff or something regardless. It's gonna be Bacchus here. Moving on to Cabrakan. I don't really play Cabrakan too much, so this is kinda bad. I think though you wanna like, if they can interrupt you, starting with Termas can be fine unless they have kill potential. I think the safe choice is going for Refraction Shield, and if you wanna maybe fight level 1, you can go Seeming Cross. Let's go Refraction Shield. Then you would probably go see Seismic Crush, Tremors, Refraction Shield, Tectonic Shift. I think you should always prioritize getting the 2 first. It's like the 1 is something you want to like use for engaging or escaping, and sure, it's okay damage and movement speed increases increase is fine, but you really want to use the 2 to poke with in the support role, so just max that. No real reason to max the tremors on the support role. You're gonna be very mana hungry, you're not gonna have a blue buff, you're not gonna have Bombastic Mass sustain. Gonna really fuck you over in my mind. Do we level the ult on this card? I think we do. It's not as good as it used to, but it still does quite a bit of damage, so there's no real reason to not level it. It's not like either of these abilities are gonna be doing more, at least in my mind. Get that, and then get Tremors, Tectonic, Tremors, Tectonic. This is how I load Bacchus, although I'm not the best Bacchus support player, but this is how I would do it in my mind. Then we go on to Fafnir. Yay! Alright, Fafnir. On Fafnir, you almost always want to start with your 1. The only way you don't want to start with your 1 is if like you're getting caught out and you want to jump away, which goes for pretty much all the Guardians. Don't really start with a jump unless you're like Bacchus or something like that. I don't know. At level 2 you can either go coerce. I like going coerce if I'm slightly poked and I just want to clear a bit better, rather than leveling the free. I think the most common thing though is to go for the free, then you wanna go coerce. On Fafnir as well, you wanna max your 1. A lot of people are like, why don't you max your 2? It's a big attack speed buff. It is, but it's kinda irrelevant early game, because the attack speed buff and bonus damage is not really gonna do anything, because people are gonna be doing no damage. So like, why even do that, you know? So I like maxing it second. I have a variation that I will show you as well. I of course level the old curse strength, and now here you can either skip. You shouldn't skip. Always level coerce. Think of always level the dragon as well. You just want to have more time in the dragon form, really. For the first duration of the draconic corruption, it's really tough to get like 2 rounds of cooldowns off, or 3 and 1. So like just having that 1 more level really matters a lot. You can get 2 rounds of cooldowns off. Right here, I actually I like just maxing my 2 now. Because now we're at the point in the game where the enemy can really start feeling how much the chorus is gonna do. And like I like doing it like this, then draconic, and then curse strength. Now you do miss out on a bit of dragon damage. You do miss out on a 5% slow. You do miss out on 40% damage, but you help your teammates a lot more. The stun in this time of the game is just much more about it being a stun than and I think the 2 is just gonna be doing more damage, and the slow I think is gonna be kinda irrelevant, because like 5% doesn't really matter. Then you wanna level the 3 and draconic corruption. So this is how I level Fafnir. Next one is Mr. Jeb. So on Jeb, you can start out with your rollout if you're cleaning jungle camps. It's really tough to do it in lane though, so I do think that just leveling the 2 is easier to clear than like rolling into a guard, and then you have absolutely nothing left. So start with your 2. You don't really want to fight with Jeb either. Like even if you fight, the 2 is gonna be better. The stone shield is like it's okay. So here you have 2 choices. If your ADC is like gonna get, I don't know, CC'd, you can get your stone shield. If you just want to clear, you can get your rollout. Usually I think I just get rollout, shield, shockwave. Now this is where a lot of people like have a disagreement on Jeb. Some people really like maxing the shield on Jeb. Some people really like maxing the shockwave. Of course you go Cataclysm at 5. I think personally that maxing the 2 is almost always gonna be better on Jeb. Now you're gonna be shielding in the early game. If you have a max shield, the enemies are just gonna target shift, and that shield, regardless, like a Jeb shield, should be enough to save 1 person. Because it's like it's only 50 more health. The duration is longer, but the duration is pretty much irrelevant on the stone shield. Is what I feel like. Anyway, like by the time there's 3 seconds have passed, like the shield is like whatever now. Like maybe you avoid being hit by a, I don't know, like a random AoE ability, but not that early in the game really. So I don't think you want to level it. The shockwave, like generally just getting damage on supports is so much better. Like you're gonna be doing so much more in the fight with an upgraded shockwave than an upgraded stone shield. Now if the enemy has like a Kraken or like a big AoE mage ultimate like Tough-Fold, I don't know, you could put a few points into the stone shield, get to like level 2 or 3, but generally just like doing this. Then here you wanna put a level into stone shield, Cataclysm, shockwave, stone shield, stone shields, stone shield. And then roll out, Characters rollout, characters. Remember, always max your ult and jab. Like it's really good. Don't just max the one. The one is a lot of damage as well. The cooldown is really good. I just think both of these abilities are a lot better. But he has a really interesting kit. Seeing that the one is probably his worst ability to max, even though it's like it does a lot when you max it. Like decreased cooldown, increased load duration, increased damage by a lot. It's actually not that bad at all. But yeah, the shockwave definitely is what I would level on. I think some people are definitely gonna disagree here, but this is just how I like doing it. If you like playing a lot more safe and like shielding people, do that. But I just don't think it's that relevant early game, because people are just gonna target swap if they see someone with like a 250, like 400 depth shield. They're just gonna focus someone else, and then you're gonna be able to do nothing in the fight. Moving on to Khepri. On Khepri, you wanna almost always start with your 2. You wanna start with your 1 if you're getting caught, or if you wanna like 5-man roam and kill someone. Getting the 2 in the 1v1 fight, or the 1 in the 1v1 fight is 2v2. Getting the 1 in the 2v2 fight and duo is also way worse. Just because that when you pull, you can't do anything. They can still basic attack, and that's pretty much just what you do in a fight. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's so irrelevant, that the damage is so irrelevant as well. Always just get Rising Dawn. It's just 120 damage. Minions a lot. It's a protection debuff and a damage reduction. Like, it's insane. Just level this. 50 mana as well. Like, broken. He's broken the low one. Then you can go either way. You can get your Solar Flare if you just kind of wanna poke out, I guess. You can get the Abduct if you wanna clear a bit better, or if you just wanna like get a kill or something. I like going for the Abduct. Then here you have 2 choices. If you wanna push harder, you're gonna go for Rising Dawn. If you wanna try and kill, or like just normal lane, you can go Solar Flare. I like going Rising Dawn then Solar Flare, because we don't really fight too much besides like level 1 when we do lane. Scarab Blessing, keep maxing the 2. And now this is like a big point here. I think a lot of people have a tendency to max the 1, the Abduct, but I think it's the same as Bacchus 3, even more so here. Because there's such a big chance that you're just gonna get stunned out for like the extra pull duration. I like the root a lot more. The root is gonna be able to hit a lot more people. I think the root duration matters a lot more. It also fits better in the Khepri's kind of peeling thing, like where he sits kind of in the middle of the team fight. You can kind of help with the front light a lot more with the free. If you are abducting as a Khepri, you cannot ult someone, like you cannot look out for your backline unless you're like pulling the guy that's on your backline, which is kind of rough usually, because they're gonna be like all the way around you, and then even then the Solar Flare might be better. The only good thing about the Abduct is that it ignores CCR completely, where Solar Flare doesn't, but then again it's a root, so it's a different kind of CC. So I personally like going Solar Flare. Of course, always level Scarab's Blessing when you can. Rising Dawn, Solar Flare, Solar Flare. Solar Flare, Abduct, oops. Scarab's Blessing, right? No Scarabs. Solar Flare, Abduct, Scarabs, Abduct, Scarabs. That's how I like to go about it. If you level the Abduct as well, if you're a more aggressive player, that's fine. One thing that talks against the Solar Flare is its increased mana cost, but I think it's kinda irrelevant. Like, you're gonna have enough mana anyway. You're gonna have like Meditation, Hard Ward, you're gonna be able to keep up. It's nice that this does not take any mana, but like, it's decent damage as well. Like, for a long range ability that you shouldn't really miss, like 250 is not bad. Like, Adopt is 280. Sure, it's a bit more, but the scaling in damage is the same, and the duration is pretty much the same, although roots are due to CCR. But it doesn't really fit Khepri maxing his 1 until like really late game, where you're gonna be pulling people off your backline carries. That's at least how I go on Khepri. So moving on to Mr. Kumbhakarna. This is a really tough run, honestly, on Kumbha, because you can go groggy or you can go throwback at level 1. Throwback, pretty much never. You almost certainly want to start with groggy. The cooldown is way lower. The damage is almost the same. The flying min damage is a bit more, but you should never ever let a Kumbhakarna won the wave. Like, you should block that, definitely. So and the people will do that, so that's why you don't level the throwback. Then you go throwback, Mighty Yawn. I think you do level the throwback though, or the Groggy Strike. Groggy Strike is less damage by 20, and Flying Minute damage it scales 70 as well. You wanna go with Groggy Strike at level 1 as well, just because it has lower cooldown, it's a root, you can't block it, there's a possibility it hits 2, it hits the wave and the person. Sure, you can basic attack while channeling the ability and it can't get interrupted. But the good thing about it is if it gets interrupted, you can just use it again because it doesn't go on cooldown. Mighty Yawn, really good ability, obviously. I do go throwback here, epic uppercut, throwback, throwback, throwback. And now here you can like, I kinda like skipping a point here, just because when I play Kumbha, I kinda wanna do so much damage, as much damage as possible. So I like skipping the point here and then going throwback, epic uppercut, and then right here I just like getting my Mighty Yawn up. Now the 2 is fine because it does a bit more damage, but the 3 is like, it's a 0.5 increase in the mess, and it's a slow increase, and its attack speed debuff. Like, it's a really good ability, honestly. Just to get that out of the way, there we go. Finish that, and then Groggy, a big Groggy. It's really hard to see when you level this, so this is how I would level Kumbha. Again, not the best Kumbha player, but definitely how I would go for it. This is an interesting one, the Kumbhakarna. Start with the Nene. Always gonna be better, unless you're 5-man roaming or you're getting caught, you wanna go with Sumo Slam. I think getting Sumo Slam here, probably another one in Nene, then Shell Spikes. Shell Spike does not really do too much early game, like you're reflecting initially like 10 damage or something. It's kinda really irrelevant. The cooldown per hit, it's okay. I don't know though. Of course level the old Nene. Hey, you could go Shell Spikes here. Do you level the old? I guess you do level the old of do you really? Like, I don't know. I think maybe you should just... It's kind of rough, right? Because it's 50, then it's 25, 25, 25. So essentially it's like what 125 damage actually. So I think yeah, you should probably max the old Nene, shell, water, shell, sumo, water, sumo, water, boom. That's how I think you should max Khepri, at least. What makes more sense in my mind. Getting your 3 at level 2, because the 2 is useless, you just want CC, kill potential. Moving on to Sobek. Hey, this is one of the more interesting ones. So Sobek's tail wave actually does more damage and interrupts a lot more, although Sickening Strike heals you and does a bit less damage. It has healing reduction, and this cost is slightly lower, plus it doesn't fuck up the wave completely. Because usually when you tail whip, it's actually worse for you, because the enemy minions are just gonna be like not in a line for your own ADC to hit it. For that reason, I honestly like starting with Sickening Strike. I know a lot of people do like tail whip, because then you get charge prey at the level 2, and then you're all good. I like tail whip, Sickening Strike the most myself. If you wanna fight, I think tail whip or charge prey are gonna be the better choices. Sickening Strike has that ability though, not so much more now that Met has been nerfed, but that if they met or if you pop healing potions, you're gonna have like reduced healing, and it's really gonna screw them over if their meditation is only gonna heal them for like half of what they expected. Charge Spray is really good as well if you wanna try and kill someone also looking for a pick or getting caught. If you wanna fight, get Charge Spray. If you wanna clear, get Tail Whip. I like getting Tail Whip, Charge Spray, and then here, honestly, I always like the maxing Sickening Strike. I think it's what you need to do. This just costs too much mana. The damage increase is really insignificant for the amount of mana it costs. Sickening Strike, and of course, lurking in the waters, it has insane like damage on this ability, like 950 plus 80% scaling. It's slow, regens, you just wanna go for that. Sickening, could go Tail Whip here, lurking, Sickening, Tail Whip, lurking, then Charge Spray. Again, not too it doesn't cost too much leveling it. Boom, lurking, boom, boom, boom. I think it's really sad, honestly. I think if Sobek would be played more in the support role, like you slightly chill on the damage on the lurking in the waters, and then maybe you like decrease the cooldown a bit on Tail Whip and decrease the mana cost, because Sobek is a really mana hungry god. I know you say you can just ult. You're an idiot if you don't, but you just don't ult with the lurking in the waters for mana and its support role really. So Sobek. Sylvanus. That was not the right thing. Okay, Verdant Grove. I think unless you're like, even if you're fighting, it might honestly just still be better than Wisps. If you pop Wisps as a Sylvanus, the enemy's just gonna back out, whereas you have Verdant Grove, you can really chase down people. You shouldn't really lose a 2v2 fight ever as a Sylvanus. I think it beats even Amaterasu and whatever. So definitely start with the 1. Go and plant some wheat for your team. It's good. Now you have 2 choices here. Either if you just want to chill, you go Wisps. If you want to like go aggressive, look for the grab, you go Grasp. I like going aggressive, trying to get the nice grab, and then just kill whoever you grab. Then you go Wisps. Of course, you max Wisp on him still. The heal does not matter too much anymore, but it is the protection gained that really matters. You could make an argument like, why wouldn't you level the 1? It's less cooldown, it's like less mana. I actually no, this is this one that's less mana, but yeah, I just like getting Wisp. Of course, always level Sylvanus ult. By the way, it does a lot of damage. It's like surprisingly a lot of damage. Wisps. I like going Verdant Grove for Nature's Grasp. I don't think the cooldown is okay. It costs less, that's fine, but you really just wanna get less cooldown on Verdant Grove, which is like your secure hitting ability that's doing more damage, that's reducing more protections, that's giving no, it doesn't even give more mana back, but I just like getting that to get Wrath of Terra, Wisps, Verdant Grove, Wrath of Terra, Verdant Grove, Nature's boom, 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 boom. That's how I like leveling. You can mix it up though with the 1 and 3 if you like. Always remember get the 2 first, even though it's gotten incredibly nerfed, it's still the best by far. So that was Sylvanus. Now moving on to Terra. Right, so I've gotten a lot of questions about this Terra here. You wanna start with the 2 on Terra. Like, what are you gonna do with the 1 on Terra? You can do nothing. What are you gonna do with the 3 on Terra? You're gonna do absolutely nothing. These are 2 useless abilities at level 1. This is the least worst ability. Now there was a reason to get the 1 and the 3 on Terra pre-season 4, because you would get level 2 and then you could like do the beast combo of the monolith into Force of Nature. But you can't really do that anymore. Crushing Earth it's okay for fighting, it's like as Fafnir's done, it does good damage, it stuns, it's okay in that when it comes to that. So I just get that, like it just does more damage. Level 2, if you're killing someone and they don't have an escape, you can level your monolith for the Terra slow, which I think is really underused. 30% slow, it's like a frostbound hammer. Like, come on, then you just level the monolith and run them down. Usually just want to go Force of Nature though, monolith, and here comes a big thing. A lot of people think it's better maxing the 3 on Terra, and it's really not. The heal is insignificant. The shadow damage is pretty much insignificant as well. Like you do 2 times 20, you do 40 damage on the damage per tick every time you leveled, and it's 30. That's 70 damage. When you level your wall, you gain 70 damage as well. It's per wall. Like damage per wall is 35, 2 walls, and the shadow damage is even bigger. Now you have like 100 shadow damage, so the 2 is just better. Now another reason for leveling your 2 is that when you use your 3, you need 2 abilities to use your 3. You need your 3 and you need your 1. You're using your escape. The 2 is better. It's not that hard to hit really. Like they need to be looking at you and trying to juke it. It's more damage. It's safer to use it. It's less mana. It just frees up so much room, like with what you can do. And if you get like a stun, you'd be surprised. Like this is 380 damage. This is like the same amount of damage that Ymir's 2 does. It's insane. It does so much damage. Please guys, like max the 2 on Terra. Of course go Terra's Blessing, then keep maxing the 2. Here I like going Monolith, or you can like skip a point and get either. I think Monolith is okay though, because the damage is decent. It's not better than Crushing Earth, but it's not so bad that you that you like wanna wait or skip a point. Then Crushing Earth, Monolith, Terra's Blessing, Monolith, Force, Terra, Force, Terra. Terrace, not Terra. Yep. So yeah, that's kind of the point about Terra. Max the 2, please. It's better. The 3 was maybe even not better before, but everyone still maxed it down. I don't know. Xing Tian, not my best support. You'd have to go for like Kalash. To talk about that, but I think before you'd start with the 3 because you want to clear buffs now, but I think the 1 is honestly better for low 1 as well. Since you can just like hit the enemy ADC with it and he'll be doing less damage. I like getting the 1 first on Mr. Xing Tian. Then you have 2 choices. If you want clear, you should go Sky Cutting Axe. I think it should still be more damage, yeah. If you want kill potential, go Hook Slam, like Sky Cutting, first Raw. Then you go Whirlwind, Furious, and then you go Hook Slam. You want to max this over just because of the increased root duration, it's more damage. I don't really think you want to level this at all on Xing Tian. Fuck the assault. Now here's a point that a lot of people miss out on. There's not really like a big point in getting 1 more point in the 1 right now, because yes, you gain 5% damage reduction and you gain 35 damage, but that's it. You're making the cost bigger, like you're not getting a duration increase. Like you guys can see, it's 4 and 4 seconds. Then the 2 is just better. Like you just want to finish your 2. And I even think there's an argument to be made that the 3 is just better because you're getting more protection. So this is at least how I like to go about it. Then finally finish the Furious Raw and then getting my ult. So that's how I level Xing Tian at least. And I think that's the most common mistake, is to like put 1 more level in Furious Raw when you don't really need. Ymir, boom. You almost always want to start with your 2 on Ymir. Maybe if you're cutting someone off, like you go for crazy ice wall, like a frost breath. But the 2 is just better. Like if you get your breath, you have no wave clear. Wait for the enemy ADC or the enemy support to start basic attacking. Then you'll have a lot easier time hitting a 2. Then you go frost breath. Probably glacial strike again. Maybe if you can get a kill for the ice wall. Like on glacial, ice wall, shard suffice. Now we have seen in the past, like iRapha has been putting levels into his wall, which I don't think is bad at all. Like if you can play around that, do that. Like it's so good to have a big wall, but the wall can kind of fuck you over as much as it can fuck your team over as much as it can fuck your enemies over. Glacial strike is good damage. I honestly just like leveling it. Then leveling frost breath. Getting the stun up. Now here's another big point about beer, like, do you level the ult? Because you're almost never gonna get a full ult duration off, but I think you do level it right now. Because usually when you use Ymir ult, there's like kind of 2 scenarios: using it for CC immunity or using it on an objective, try and secure the objective. And I think it's a lot of damage, so like you should level this. Glacial Frost Shard Suffice. Here you could maybe go Frost Breath and then Shard Suffice, just get the full stun duration. Out early you could like also put some levels in the wall here, like, but this is just going straight forward. Like Ymir really one of those cards where maxing either of these 3 is not that bad. Probably the 3s even being the worst thing to max. Leveling ult is, so it's like a weird card. Alright, so this was all the Guardians. And we only 34 minutes into it. So let's move on to the Warriors. Way Amaterasu. We want to start with the 1 on Amaterasu. There's almost no scenario where you want to start with the 2. Your 2 is less damage. The 1 is gonna be more damage. Like in the fight, on the buff, probably even on the wave, because ADC is also gonna be hitting harder. The buff is also gonna affect your ADC's ability that clears the wave. It's gonna affect his basics, your own basics. It heals you. A trick you want to do is you want to always start in movement speed area stance, and then when you start fighting or whatever, you swap over so you get the heal. The mana doesn't matter because you don't have any other ability to use, and you will have regained the mana. So start with a 2, a 1, then you can. I always like getting my 2. If you're in danger or like you're running someone down, get your 3. Now you get your 3. Again, if you want to clear, you can get your 2 here, but I really like just getting the 3, just being able to dash in and do damage. then you do 2, then you do 4, then you do 2, 2, 1, and then you do 4 again. Now you want to max the Odin Amaterasu. It's 150 damage increase. Yeah. Also, you want to pretty much just max the shield out. The 1 is really good, but just getting the shield out there is really good. If you're struggling getting your damage off, you want to go for this. But then again, always level the ult. Boom, 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 boom. That's how you want to level Amaterasu. You can postpone the 1 a bit. The 2 is just going to be more damage. Again, you really want to be like having that one big boom kind of ability on your Guardian that actually does a lot more damage than the enemy expects. It's like mirror damage to 210, and then if it's like fully charged, it's actually 420 on an ability. You're gaining 80 damage, whereas here you're gaining 5 power, 5% movement speed, and 10 healing, which is fine. It's okay. I just like the reflection more of like jungle clear gold. Getting a lot of ranked invites right now. Bellona support. It takes me back to the famous video of Dignitas funny moments where Trix Tank wants to level his 3 first. On Bellona you want to go with your 1 or your 2. If you really want to fight, if you really want to smack them down, you can go for your 1. If you want to clear the wave, just get the bludgeon. Get shield bash after this. Here you can either go for the bludgeon or the scourge. I think scourge, right? Just get the scourge, honestly, or the bludgeon. I'd probably go bludgeon just because I don't really fight too much around level 3 or level 4. Then you want to scourge Eagle's Rally, bludgeon. I think on supports here, probably just want to like max the 3, right? Because it's less cooldown. You could skip a point, but would we skip a point? We probably would, honestly, because bludgeon is so goddamn much damage. We would skip a point and go bludgeon, Eagle's Rally, scourge, Eagle's Rally, scourge, shield badge, scourge. I'm pissing people off right now. Shield badge, Eagle's Rally. This is how I would level it. You can swap things up. I'm not a good Bellona player. I don't really play this at all, but I imagine this is how it would look. And again, Bellona is the best level 1 guard in the game. If you have her shield bash, even in 2v2s you have your reflect, and a lot of people don't know it, but the shield bash reflect deals damage back. It's like a hydrodynamian kind of effect. Like one of the most like unknown things, like Ian Brandon mentioned the other day on stream as well. You did catch that. Erlang Sheng support, I have no fucking clue, honestly. You start with 72 transformations, it's almost always gonna be the best. I guess you get the pin, butt weakness, 3. I have no clue. You have to go and ask Raw about this. I guess you could like put a point in 1 or whatever. I think there's a good point to be made though, that you wanna max the 3, maybe soft weakness, Lion turns blessings. I guess you kinda wanna level that when you're playing support. And then spot weakness, 9 Bacchus, boom, spot weakness, pin, bam, bam, bam. I have no clue how Raw does it. This is a really, if I'm correct, that's pretty lucky. So you should go and ask a Raw or some of the NA supports that do play this Erlang Sheng to a way high level that I do. I'm really shit at this card. Guan Yu is another support that can be played. I think in Guan Yu, you want to start with your 3. If the enemy has a way to interrupt your 3, you probably want to start with your 1 or your 2, but most of the time just like wait for them to use the way they can interrupt it, like wait for Terra to use her 2, wait for Fafnir to use his 1, then you just like hit the wave and you're gonna clear the wave faster than they will, because you're a warrior, like you should be clearing the wave faster than a Guardian with just basic attacks. And then here you can either go for the heal or the 2. I like going for the heal. The 2 is just really if you like want to get in there and kill them kind of mentality. You want to clear the wave a bit better. The heal is just so good for like sustaining stuff like that. Here you can either go Talos or Warriors, like going Talu just because we farm so much. Warriors will cavalry charge, Talos. Now here's the big point. Like honestly, maybe I'd go like this here, something like that. Leveling the heal is really not bad, even though it's been nerfed. It's still like 50 more healing. It's okay. I think Talos is just too good though, so I'll probably just still go with the Talos and then Conviction here. You could even skip it. Dash, it's good, but you don't like want to level low either. Cavalry charge, always upgrade that. It's an insane damage. Like the damage escalation, 20% per hit. Like it's 30 damage, but then you hit for like what, 5 or 6 times or something like that. Like 3, 4, I don't know. And it's just so much damage. Like always level this. Talu, conviction, cavalry charge, boom, 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 boom. That's how I would level my Gorn. Maybe like you can swap up a bit with the healing or whatever. Some people like leveling the heal. Again, I like the more damaging abilities. Just you have an ability here that does like what, 500 damage. Insane. Please. It's so goddamn good. It actually has insane scaling as well. 200% scaling. Alright, Guan Yu, Herc support does Guan. I hope you like that. Herc support, you probably want to start with your 1. Then get your 2, then get your 3. I don't think the 2 is ever going to be better than the 1 and the 2 is you fight. Maybe if you're picking someone off, even the 1 would be better. Even you could even go for your 1 here, like not getting the 3, but again, some people, why wouldn't you max mitigate wounds if you support? Like, they would just ignore me. I need damage, like, I'm a warrior, I need damage. Excavate, driving, sorry. So you can go mitigate, or you can skip a point. I personally like skipping a point. Get more damage. Of course, always level the boulder. 125 more damage is insanely strong for the same cost. How much does a Earthbreaker only does? Like 45 more, and it's not that good. Then you wanna go mitigate. Excavate, mitigate, Earthbreaker, excavate, Earthbreaker, excavate. That's just how you should go with her. It's very straightforward. Again, that's just my personal preference on pretty much all the guards. You see how I'm taking pure damage over utility in terms of healing or crowd control. Moving on now, I think we have Nike, Odin, and maybe some left as the supports that we think are viable right now. So 3 more to go. Nike, you almost always want to start with a 1. I don't think the leap is ever gonna do more. Nike is really weak, honestly. Level 1, the only thing she really does well is clearing buffs or clearing jungle camps, since she has her AoE basic attacks. And here, if you have the push, you can go for your 2. If not, you can keep. I like just getting the 2 up. Just stay safe. Remember that. Get the leap, or you can get the 1. Like, you can also get the jump if you want to look for something. If they're looking for something on you, excuse me, on you. Rend, always level Nike old. Really important. You get the shield going. Rend, plane of action, sentinel, rend, plane. Boom. That's just how you should go about it. Save that. It's very straightforward. Like, there's no real gimmicks about it. Yeah, a passive, of course, is probably like one of the only reasons why you ever pick it's called Odin support. You should go lunge at level 1. Always. Gognia's Might is I'm not gonna say the word, but it's so banana useless. Know what I was gonna say. Then you wanna get 2, you wanna bird bump, or you wanna just get this. Probably wanna level the 2 again. Unless you're looking for a kill, you can level the Gognia's Might. The slow is really useful. It's a really long slow. Kinda fucks the enemy up a lot, but I just like going for that. Then of course Ring of Spears. Ravens, lunge, Ring of Spears. Don't level your 3, guys. It's not good. The 1 is just more damage. It's cooldown. 2, of course, is what you wanna level. I'm not mentioning too much with the warrior support right now, because I think it's very straightforward. Again, there's no real gimmicks. It kind of makes sense, right? What you want. You want to level Ring of Spears. I honestly think you should just go for the more damage here, like max lunge out, and then maybe now you can go Ring of Spears and then Gognia's Might. Ring of Spears, Gognia's, boom. Ring of Spears. The slow duration increase is okay, the damage is completely irrelevant. You'd probably rather just have the attack speed reduction, as you're gonna, like, for the first 12 levels, like, let's be honest, you're not really gonna take any advantage of the attack speed thingy. Like, literally the only thing it does is the attack speed reduction, and it's only around like level 13 or 14 it's gonna become relevant. So it really just works out with leveling your damaging abilities, getting a jump on a less down. It works out really well for you. So That's how you level Mr. Odin, and then of course our last guard will be Mr. Wukong. He was such a good support once. Probably get the cudgel if you wanna go for a kill. You can either get Master's Will or transformations. If you wanna clear here, you get your Master's Will. If you just wanna stay safe or like get a kill, you get your free. Usually I like getting my free. Then again, probably you just wanna like get your 2 here. Boom. Maybe you can get your cudgel now. I think you max your cudgel. Like maxing the 2 and the 1 or 3 on Wukong is not bad either, but you have to remember like you take extra damage from the cudgel on the what's it called, the minions and the jungle camps. So effectively when it's a 40% or 40 damage, it's 50 on things. I don't really think leveling the 2 is too. Yeah, it could actually be really good leveling the 2. It's just the 1 is like easier to hit on Wukong pretty much. You should never miss a 1. So I go cudgel, somersault, cudgel. Do you max your ult on Wukong? Not really, right? Like no healing increase. There's no like the damage increase is pretty irrelevant. Maybe the cooldown is okay. I just don't like doing it. So it's another big thing. Like, do you go for your 2 or your 3? I like going for my 3 as a support. Maxing that out, and finally maxing out the ult. Now the 2 damage is nice, but the 3's like Tiger Stun and the damage is just better on it in general. Like the Ox damage is slightly worse, but of course the biggest argument to be made is that you decrease the cooldown of the ability. I really just think just always get this. So this is how you probably want to do Wukong. So yeah, this is my longest video. I hope you guys like this. I will make sure to make timestamps, and if you made it to this time, you are a cool person, you are a cool dude for like chilling with me for like 45 minutes. Kinda insane. If you want more content like this, make sure to leave a comment, make sure to like the video. If you're wondering about builds for all these guards, I will leave a link down below to my Google Doc where I have put builds in. It's under constant development, and most of the builds that are in there are pretty outdated right now because we haven't updated the doc. I'm updating the doc now to like 4.7 and 4.8 and all that's to come now. Definitely there's going to be a change in builds now, and we'll cover that as well, but just make sure to look for that document through. If you want more videos like this, or like what next theory video do you want, I know I will probably make one on Loner's Mask like really soon. A meditation as well. But then again, that was pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching this time around. I hope to see you again next time, and peace out.